I have been following the saga of the Fearless Fund and how they have been attacked by conservative activists and anti DEI people. So, one of their founders said it all fell apart. That has been the impact of these DEI lawsuits. As conservative groups continue to go after DEI based grant programs, the firms that provide them, including Fearless Fund and Hello Alice, are struggling and they promise to fight back. So this is the Fearless Fund CEO, Arian Simone. All right, so let's get into the article. It's been a rough 6 months since conservative groups began suing companies and investment firms that offer grant programs exclusively to historically disadvantaged groups, calling the funding discriminatory and therefore unlawful. Fearless Fund CEO Arian Simone revealed in an interview with Inc. that the conservative strategy is essentially working and that her organization is on the ropes. The firm, which launched in 2019 and grew to a team of 19, has since scaled back to six. It all fell apart due to litigation, says Simone. You're talking millions of dollars we've lost, and it's truly impacting our operations. Back in August, the American Alliance for Equal Rights, a nonprofit membership organization led by conservative litigator Edward Blum, sued Simone's Fearless Fund, an Atlanta based venture firm. The suit claimed the Fearless Fund's grant program, geared towards funding Black women entrepreneurs, violated a section of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. The law, which was initially put in place to protect the right of anyone to win contracts, regardless of race, is now being used to dismantle a private money effort designed to correct the imbalance of funding to historically disadvantaged groups. The lawsuit came 2 months after the firm received multi-million dollar investments from Bank of America, Costco, and MasterCard in June 2023 to financially support and provide resources for women of color, according to a press release. For context, Blacks and Latino women entrepreneurs receive 0.1% of venture capital funds, according to a 2023 study from McKinsey and Company. Following the suit, a judicial panel officially blocked the Fearless Fund from awarding $10,000 to $20,000 in business development services to early stage Black woman owned businesses as part of the firm's Fearless Strivers grant program. The grant program is now on hold. DEI funding dries up. Over the past 4 years, the Fearless Fund has partnered with corporations to supply diverse business owners $3.7 million in grants. Now, according to Simone, all but two of the firm partners have backed out. I'm definitely equipped for it, but I didn't prepare for the mental and emotional toll this has taken on me and my team. Simone adds that the venture side of the firm is also struggling. Since she started the fund in 2019 with co-founder and COO Ayanna Parson, it has invested nearly 27 million in 40 women-owned businesses, including fast-growing startups, Slutty Vegan, and Partake Foods, number 15 on the 2023 Inc. 5000. Before the lawsuit, the pair expected to raise another eight-figure round of funding to continue their investments. Since the lawsuit began, however, they haven't raised a single dollar. The Fearless Fund isn't the only capital provider facing financial hardships following lawsuits. After the right-leaning nonprofit America First Legal sued Hello Alice, the online platform for business owners, claiming the grant program for Black-owned small trucking companies was discriminatory. Co-founder Elizabeth Gore says the company recently had to lay off 69% of its workforce. It still breaks my heart, actually, says Gore, who launched the company in 2017. It happened right before the holidays in December. We had to lay off people who had been with us for years. An onslaught of litigation expected. Gore says the lawsuit has also greatly impacted her ability to raise capital. When Hello Alice was first sued in August 2023, she and her co-founder, Carolyn Rhodes, were in the middle of closing a Series C funding round. Within 2 days of notifying investors about the suit, Gore says the entrepreneurs lost two-thirds of the entire round. And the damage may not be entirely done. The plaintiffs are pushing the suit towards class action status, which Gore believes could set a dangerous precedent. In essence, she says it opens the door so that any white male can sign on to the suit for damages. The legal battle exposes how some of America's deepest culture wars are bleeding into business. The venture capital funding gaps between races is never a legal or moral justification to exclude certain men and women from public programs by race or ethnicity. That's Edward Blum, president of the American Alliance for Equal Rights, said to Inc. about the lawsuits last year. The American Alliance for Equal Rights believes it is legally permissible to provide benefits to businesses and individuals who are under-resourced, but those benefits must be available to all races and ethnicities. Hello, Alice's attorney is Neil Katyal, a former principal deputy solicitor general for the United States, who has been involved in affirmative action cases in the United States Supreme Court over the past 25 years. For the past 7, represented Yale University in high-profile admission lawsuits. Every minute they're spending on this lawsuit is a minute they're spending not doing what they want to do, which is helping business owners, says Katyal. Given that funding support for some of these conservative groups continues to grow, America First Legal Foundation reportedly raised $44 million in 2022. Katyal expects there to be an onslaught of upcoming litigation. Ultimately, he says the motives of these groups are to scare people away from DEI programs. Government warning last year in July, shortly after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned the use of affirmative action in admittance practices at colleges and universities. Attorneys general from 14 states sent a letter to 100 Fortune 500 CEOs warning them to refrain from discriminating on the basis of race, whether under the label of diversity, equity, and inclusion or otherwise. Since then, many large companies have notably pulled back on initiatives that were primarily put in place after the unaliving of George Floyd in 2020. Last year, Meta, Tesla, DoorDash, Lyft, and Wayfair all cut workers who were part of the DEI efforts in recent weeks. Both Zoom and Snap did the same. Neither firm plans on shuttering anytime soon, at least not of their free will. Talking about Hello Alice and the Fearless Fund. Gore says the core revenue driver of Hello Alice, which offers enterprise software to help corporations track, retain, and manage their small business transactions, remains healthy. As for Simone, she says she is focused on looking for investors in it for the long haul rather than trying to change the minds of the corporate partners and investors who have pulled out. If I want to, I could pick up the phone and call them now, but I'm not going to use my time and energy over spilled milk. I have to get back out there and find who is willing to cut us a check. Since the lawsuit, Simone notes that JP Morgan and Costco have remained Fearless Fund partners, though through a spokesperson, JP Morgan Chase declined to comment on the Fearless Fund. Even so, the New York-based lender says it remains committed to supporting business growth and entrepreneurship among underserved communities as part of our mission to help build a more inclusive economy that benefits everyone, which is good for business. Inc. did not hear back from Costco in time for publication. Big banks drop DEI. Many other large financial institutions are shutting down their DEI-based investment programs. Last month, Goldman Sachs shut down its diversity-driven investment fund, which it founded in 2018, hoping to invest $1 billion in companies led by women of color. This is just so unfortunate. Advocates for DEI initiatives are starting to speak out. Earlier this month, more than a dozen trade groups representing minority business owners across the country sent a letter to Fortune 500 CEOs asking them not to give in to the political pushback or the threat of legal action that should provide some semblance of hope for the founders on the front lines of this war against DEI. So I have the current industry, the macroeconomic climate, the affirmative action ruling in June, the attack on DEI, and now, on top of that, my company is in litigation. I have 5 things, a whole hand, but guess what? A hand is powerful because it creates a fist, and I'm going to continue to fight. These women who are simply out to help other women, Black women, should not be going through this because conservatives think that white men are being aggrieved. and discriminated against when venture capital funds don't typically go to Black women and other women of color. Y'all join the conversation, like, comment,